Welcome to CAMLook, your twice-a-week chance to visit with the Cincinnati Art Museum. Each Tuesday and Thursday, a staff member or volunteer will present an object from the museum's permanent collection and post questions for discussion. Please check back at 10 a.m. on those days for new work and a new conversation. Hi, I'm Susan, a docent at the museum, and today I'd like to share work by the artist Wassily Kandinsky. I love that he's smiling in this picture. Kandinsky was an early pioneer of abstract art. Some would call him the father of abstract art, and was described as driven, meticulous, deeply spiritual, and nonconformist. His works are complex. It's good to remember he was also very human. This is a work of his in our collection titled Simple, or Einfach in German. A watercolor composed of both geometric and organic shapes in pleasing pastel colors, energized by strokes of black, it appears playful and joyous to me. Color, Kandinsky believed, directly affected the emotion of humans. He had a condition known as synesthesia. He heard music when he saw color and saw color when listening to music. Imagine this work as a musical composition. What do you hear? He used lines to guide the viewer's eyes and create movement. Where do you see the greatest movement? Geometric shapes interspaced with organic forms were used by Kandinsky to express feelings and emotions. Circles had spiritual meaning. He associated triangles with aggression and squares with calm. Many of his works are even more densely packed with shapes. What feelings or emotions do you have about this work? A little background on Kandinsky. Born in Moscow in 1866, but raised in Odessa, Kandinsky had the advantage of well-to-do parents and early exposure to art and travel. This is him with his mother at age 3. No traditional folk costume. He was an amateur painter and musician, but focused his studies on law and economics at university in Moscow. He was successful as a teacher of law, but chose to return to art at age 30. Beginning his training in Munich in 1896, he was influenced by contemporary art movements, such as Impressionism, as evidenced by this portrait of his student and companion of many years, Gabriel Munter. The brilliant colors of Fauvism, dark outlines of Russian folk art, and even some pointillism are evident in this work. Kandinsky and other artists who had a common desire to express spiritual truths through their art established a group they called Der Blaue Reiter. It was also the title of a work by Kandinsky. His objects became less recognizable and more abstract, as in this work. Barely recognized in the center are 3 figures, meaning Cossacks with lances. Look for the 3 red spots, which are their hats. With the onset of World War I, he left Germany for Moscow. This is a work from that period titled Moscow Red Square. He was initially very influential in post-revolutionary Russia, but socialist ideals imposed on his art led him to return to Germany in 1922. In Germany, he formed connections with many in the Bauhaus, the German school of architecture, art, and design. Here he is pictured with his second wife at a Bauhaus exhibition. He taught there while continuing to experiment with color and shapes. Composition 8 shows how his work was progressing. He left Germany for France prior to World War II. The war years were not ones of praise and recognition. Abstract painting in general was less lauded. Kandinsky continued to paint into advanced age and died in 1944 at age 78. This is identified as his last watercolor, aptly named Last Watercolor, just as joyous and complex as our work done 28 years earlier. Hope you enjoyed putting a face to such a famous name. Look for this and other works of abstract art at the museum on your next visit.